The moment she realized the homeless-looking man, she just threw out the entire restaurant chain. Her career ended in seconds. But let me tell you this whole story from the beginning. So there's this guy named Thomas Rivera, right? 42 years old, self-made billionaire who built a restaurant empire from nothing. He owns 50 restaurants across 12 states. Everything from casual diners to upscale bistros. The guy is worth over $200 million. But here's what makes Thomas different from other wealthy people. He never forgot where he came from. He grew up dirt poor, sometimes went to bed hungry as a kid. His mother worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. Thomas started washing dishes at 15 to help pay bills. Worked his way up from dishwasher to line cook to manager. By 30, he opened his first small restaurant with his life savings. Now at 42, he's got this massive empire. But Thomas does something most rich owners don't do. Every few months, he goes undercover to his own restaurants. He dresses like a homeless person or a struggling worker. He wants to see how his staff treats people who look like they have nothing. Because to Thomas, that shows the real character of his employees. He believes everyone deserves respect, no matter what they look like. This particular Tuesday afternoon, Thomas decides to visit one of his diners in downtown Portland, a place called Rivera's Family Diner, one of his original locations. He hasn't been to this one in almost 8 months. Thomas puts on his undercover outfit, ripped jeans with actual holes in them, a stained old jacket, worn out boots. He messes up his hair, doesn't shave for a week. He looks exactly like someone living on the streets. Thomas walks into the diner around 2 in the afternoon. The lunch rush is over. Only a few customers scattered around. The place looks good, clean tables, nice atmosphere. He sits down in a booth by the window. A waitress named Crystal spots him immediately. She's 26, been working there for 2 years. Crystal walks over with this disgusted look on her face. She says, "Excuse me, sir, this is a paying establishment." Thomas looks up and says politely, "I know. I'd like to see a menu, please." Crystal laughs and says, "A menu? Look at you. You probably can't even afford a glass of water." Thomas stays calm and says, "I have money. I'd just like to order some food." Crystal crosses her arms and says, "Right. And where exactly is this money?" Thomas reaches into his jacket pocket. Crystal jumps back and says, "Don't you dare pull anything out." Thomas slowly shows her a crumpled $20 bill. It's genuine money, perfectly legal. Crystal snatches it and holds it up to the light. She says, "This better not be fake or I'm calling the cops." An older waitress named Margaret is watching from across the diner. She's worked there for 15 years, since the very beginning. She can tell something is wrong with how Crystal is behaving. Crystal throws a menu at Thomas. She says, "You got 5 minutes to order and eat. Then you need to leave before you scare away real customers." Thomas opens the menu calmly. He says, "I'll have the deluxe burger, fries, and a chocolate milkshake." Crystal rolls her eyes and says, "That's $18. You better have enough and you better tip." She storms off to put in the order. Margaret walks over to Thomas's table. She says quietly, "I'm so sorry about her behavior, sir. That's not how we treat people here." Thomas smiles and says, "It's okay. I understand." Margaret looks at him closely, something familiar in his eyes, but she can't quite place it. She goes back to work, but keeps watching. Crystal brings out Thomas's food. She literally drops the plate on the table. The burger almost slides off, fries spill everywhere. She says, "There's your food, homeless guy. Eat fast and get out." Thomas says, "Thank you, but could I get some ketchup please?" Crystal groans and says, "Are you serious right now? You're lucky I even served you. Get your own ketchup from that table over there." Thomas stands up to get the ketchup himself. As he walks, Crystal says loud enough for everyone to hear. She says, "Can you believe management lets people like this in here? He probably hasn't showered in weeks. This is disgusting." We're going to lose customers. A couple at another table looks uncomfortable. Margaret has had enough. She says, Crystal, that's completely inappropriate. Crystal snaps back, stay out of this, Margaret. I'm protecting our restaurant's reputation. Thomas returns to his seat with the ketchup. He eats his burger quietly, not causing any problems. Crystal hovers nearby, arms crossed, watching him like a criminal. When Thomas finishes, he leaves the 20 on the table. The bill was $18. He stands up to leave. Crystal grabs the money and counts it. She says, $2 tip. Are you kidding me? After I had to serve someone like you, Thomas says calmly, the service wasn't great, but thank you anyway. Crystal blocks his path and says, you know what? I want you to leave and never come back. People like you bring down the whole neighborhood. Thomas takes a deep breath. He says, people like me. Crystal says, yeah, homeless bums who can barely afford to eat. This is a family restaurant, not a soup kitchen. That's when Thomas reaches into his other pocket. He pulls out his wallet. Not some beat-up old wallet, but a leather one. He opens it and takes out a business card. He hands it to Crystal. She reads it and her face goes white. The card says Thomas Rivera, CEO and founder, Rivera Restaurant Group. Crystal's hands start shaking. She says, this is a joke, right? Thomas says quietly, I own this restaurant, Crystal. I own all 50 Rivera restaurants across the country. Crystal drops the card, her whole body trembling. She says, Mr. Rivera, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Margaret gasps from across the room. She recognized him now. She's seen his picture in the company newsletter. Thomas says, I come to my restaurants dressed like this to see how staff treats people, because I was once that person who looked like they had nothing. And I never want anyone to feel the way you just made me feel. Crystal is crying now, begging. She says, please, I need this job. I have rent to pay. Thomas says, you should have thought about that before judging someone by their appearance. You're fired. Effective immediately. Crystal falls to her knees, literally begging. But Thomas is firm. He calls the manager, who rushes out from the back office. The manager recognizes Thomas instantly and goes pale. Thomas explains everything that happened. The manager apologizes over and over. Thomas says, I want Crystal's termination process today. And I want all staff retrained on treating every customer with respect. He turns to Margaret, he says, Margaret, you showed kindness when you didn't have to. How would you like to be the new manager of this location? Margaret's eyes fill with tears of joy. She says, really? After 15 years? Thomas says, you earned it by having a good heart. That's worth more than anything. Within an hour, Crystal is escorted out. She tries apologizing again, but Thomas doesn't respond. Margaret gets her promotion with a huge raise. Thomas has the entire staff brought in for emergency training. He tells them his story, about growing up poor, about struggling. He says, every person who walks through that door deserves dignity. I don't care if they have $1 or $1 million. We treat everyone the same. That's what this company was built on. The staff listens, many of them with tears in their eyes. Word spreads through the entire company about what happened. Every Rivera restaurant improves their customer service immediately. And Crystal, she tried getting jobs at other restaurants. But word got around about why she was fired. No one wanted to hire someone who treated customers that way. Thomas never regretted his decision, because he knew that true character shows in how you treat people who couldn't do anything for you. And that's a lesson Crystal learned too late. Remember this story next time you judge someone by how they look. You never know who they really are.